I'm doing a giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be doing some Storybook Brawl duels, duking it out against Duke Silver. We are, I believe, going to be doing a best of 3 1v1 Storybook Brawl heads up battle here, and for the heads up game, as you might have seen in my previous video with Storybook Brawl duels, I really like Jack's Giant. I think that this hero is pretty good when winning those early combats is so important. This just really helps in terms of giving you a bunch of likelihood to deal some early damage. And speaking of damage, we can see that Loki has already taken some damage, and I'm gonna keep adding fuel to the fire here. I'm gonna pick up a Humpty Dumpty and see if we can just continue to bring the pain against fellow YouTuber Duke Silver. You can go ahead and check out their channel. I'll leave a link below, and you can see all of these games from their perspective as well. Doing this with live commentary here. And Duke also went for the egg, but our egg was better and bigger. Oh wow, that is absolutely incredible. That is absolutely huge, because that also means that Duke just wasted gold on this turn trying to put together the egg. So I don't hate picking up Rainbow Unicorn and potentially like rolling, because I don't really know if I want to Shrink Ray just to pick up a pair of Polywoggles along with one more unit next turn. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe these Polywoggles, we can get lucky with them. We'll give them some bonus HP with Jack's Giant. And now we've got a 7-10 Humpty Dumpty going at it here. So this is really, really powerful. We'll see if Duke is able to crack it. They are able to get a Shrink Ray for themselves, so that is going to help them by allowing them to pick up 3 units this turn. However, they have taken a little bit more damage, having said that. So this turn, I think I'm going to go Baby Root plus pick up a pair of Polywoggles. I just have to consider everything, but I think this is what we want to do. I'm also going to go for the free roll. There was a chance that I shouldn't have picked up the Baby Root, because we are going to free roll, and then maybe like I'd want to pick up Mad Mim after the roll, so that way these Polywoggles can slay. But I'm just going to hope that like Unicorn deals 1 damage to something, and then Polywoggle can deal another damage and finish something off. And I could even do something like this. Yeah, I think that that's fine. These Polywoggles can potentially finish some things off here then, but I kind of want the Unicorn attacking in early. So I'm going to throw the Unicorn actually right there, and we'll see how this goes for us. Baby Root not going to be doing anything, as they are going to be getting our number there, but we are going to be losing our egg on this combat, and Duke's going to duke some damage back to us. 35 health now, taking 5 damage, and we're basically tied up again here. So very, very interesting back and forth of it all. I like the idea of picking up the White Stag. It's a little bit awkward because Duke already is working with a dragon, so it's a little bit awkward to play stuff with the White Stag in general. But I do think that this is going to be, I mean, it's clearly the best unit just pound for pound in terms of what is available. 9 worth of stats, so definitely worth picking up here. Though, of course, just a little bit awkward. And then another thing that we could do would be like something like this or something, I don't know, so that we're making more use of Jack's Giant. But I think that I like this ultimately, just trying to pump up both of the Polywoggles. Duke's either going to attack into one of these 2 Polywoggles or the Baby Root, and then White Stag will get to pump up the other Polywoggle, and hopefully we will be able to start slaying. They take out both of the Polywoggles with the Falling Stars. That is absolutely brutal. They knew that we would backline both of our Polywoggles there. Actually, it's just Loki, so I guess they didn't really plan on it, but definitely a bummer, especially because the White Stag attacked into the Baby Dragon. So all of a sudden, we are losing this, and I hate that. I think I'm going to pick up a pair and then roll, see if I can find a slightly better 3-cost unit, like another white stag or something like that. Don't really find anything else, so I could roll one more time, sell off the unicorn, and then add something nice to the board. Yeah, don't love any of this stuff either. So now the option becomes I can just Mix-a-Wizzle the unicorn and then roll one more time and try to set up something good for next turn. I think that's what I'm going to go for. So that's going to give me a absolutely useless Queen of Hearts, which I guess I'll continue to keep in the front line. I think I'm going to lock onto Donkey from here and hope that Donkey plus Baby Root plus Jack's Giant is enough stats to allow us to stabilize a wee little bit. But hoping to avoid this baby dragon as well, Mummy is going to attack right into our stag, which is really, really unfortunate for us. That means these polywoggles are not going to be able to slay, and it is going to mean that we take a little bit more damage once again. But Duke has taken out the baby dragon, which that part at least feels somewhat good for me. Let's go ahead and pick up this donkey, and we could potentially pick up like the mummy from Duke and with this kidnap, and then also pick up a mummy of our own. I don't think that it's the craziest idea in the world. I'm probably gonna cut the rainbow unicorn at this point. Let's go ahead and pick up the golden chicken and then roll for one of these 2-cost pair units. Okay, and then we also get another baby root, and we get a True Love's Kiss here. Could do something silly like locking the True Love's Kiss for next turn. We have these polywoggles. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there. Let's go ahead and start off by picking up the Baby Dragon Triple. That's going to give us a Tier 3 character. We can grab, or a Tier 2 treasure. I don't know why I said that. And now we've got a similar option to Duke in that Fairy's Tale is pretty good. The Corrupted Heartwood, I think, is reasonable on our board, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. The only question is, am I locking a True Love's Kiss in on 4.0? I don't think that is the route that I want to take. I'm just going to hope that the stag can actually do some work for the first time here. Duke has found a whole bunch of treasures, and they have found an ogre princess, so they are doing some crazy stuff over here. Hopefully Trojan Donkey can summon some things. Not going to be so lucky. Can Polywoggle slay? Okay, we do get the slay with Polywoggle, so that's at least something that I got going for me. But this game certainly looking a little bit scary. Tempted to take a Lightning Dragon. I think that that is just a pretty good unit. It can trade with a few of the things they got going on in the back line, and then from there, might just pick up Monster Book. Monster Book when you have got the... Let's see, how else do we want to order this around? So I guess we will need one additional unit to throw in here. Oh, no, we don't. We don't, because we have, we're going to be summoning something off of Trojan Donkey. So that was kind of the plan here. Then I guess we'll just play something like this or like this. Yeah, this is fine. And we'll do Falling Stars to summon something additionally off this Trojan Donkey. I would like to put in the Polywoggle, though it just feels a little bit weak at this point. We could go for Copycat plus Monster Book, which is like strong, potentially trying to get those scams, though I'm hesitant to play into anything that gets disrupted by Lightning Dragon, because we saw in my previous Duels video exactly how poorly that can go, and Duke is looking pretty strong. There is a chance that they just kill us right now. Definitely possible, as we have already dropped to 10. They've picked up a pair of Lightning Dragons for themselves, and those Lightning Dragons are going to survive our Falling Stars, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Mummy takes out Medusa, and then I've got no way left to deal with Crafty, so we are going to take 9 damage here, down to 1, and yeah, kind of a bummer. We can see quite clearly that they are playing pretty heavily into the Lightning Dragon of it all, and their Lightning Dragons are a little bit bigger because they have picked up the I'm not sure what the name of the treasure is. The so we could possibly throw this here. I don't know. Nothing that I've got looks too good. Yeah, so we can play like Lady of the Lake. It's just awkward because if we only play one character in the backline, then we know it's going to get attacked into. But I don't think there's a way around that. I think we just have to hope. And hope that we get a little bit lucky. But we're definitely going to go ahead and spend all of our gold this turn. I don't think that we can find a great way to turn this around for ourselves, though. I do like having access to a 14-14. That can potentially soak up some lightning dragon hits. So this is kind of where I am leaning for the time being. I don't love the fact that we are just like Trojan Donkey is just attacking into Crafty every single turn, but we gotta hope this is enough. I have a feeling that it won't be, and we might just be moving on to game 2 with this one. We take out the Sporko, they take out the Lady of the Lake. The Gingerbread Knight does do some work in being big enough that it can survive some hits, but then Mummy is gonna take out the rest of our back line, and that's game 1 for you. So we'll see if we can turn it around at all. I thought we picked a pretty good tempo hero, but the luck was just not on our side with that Loki. For game 2, we could fire off with the Loki back at Duke, and I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna go for. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be as lucky. I never feel as lucky playing Loki, but I think that it's better than Sharon and Mad Catter. It's close. Sharon and Mad Catter are definitely fun and fine tempo heroes that just give you a bunch of stats for just playing Storybook Brawl. And Geppetto isn't bad as far as the free hero is concerned. I do think that Loki overall should be more powerful than Sharon and Mad Catter, but only one way to find out. Let's send it, and okay, Duke has chosen Peter Pants. So nice. We of course get rewarded with a free roll from Loki, which is never super exciting. I think I'm gonna go Blind Mouse here. It prevents some slays like Tiny and Madman would, and just allows us to be strong. Peter Pants, definitely a pretty good hero just because there's no real downside to it. Like, you could see our game ended basically on 4.2 last time. So it just allows you to pick up those really good level 3 characters as soon as the game starts, and is pretty powerful from that perspective. I'd really like to win this brawl because we've got the 4 glory. The only way that we have a chance of winning the brawl is with Black Cat plus Labyrinth Minotaur, and I think it's worth going for. If our Black Cat trades into his Baby Dragon, and we're going to frontline the Minotaur, so that way if he attacks first, maybe he attacks into Black Cat. But if that happens and then the Minotaur can trade with his 3-cost character, then we win the 4 glory, and it's at least something. And I think that this is like slightly stronger too than what we were playing last turn. So let's go for it. Are we going to get that trigger? Let's see. Oh, it's really, really close. We wind up tying. Can't be too upset about the tie. We were 50-50 to just win that combat though, I guess. No, not quite. Not quite 50-50. But a little bit of a bummer regardless. The fact that they've already picked up a Spellweaver, I'm curious how far into Hat Ball Duke is going to be able to get. So obviously somewhat interested in Cindy. Just picking up another free roll on Loki is quite annoying because we've not gotten any Loki luck, which kind of thought that would be the case. I never really feel too lucky with Loki recently, but I do think it's just going to be Black Cat plus Minotaur for me. Now both of my cats will trade with Spellweaver, and we are just playing a lot more of a synergistic board here. Now we can build into some things like Queen of Hearts and Wicked Witch when we level up. We'll still play around Baby Dragon to moderate success, and of course Duke has got the Earthquake and is just going to completely destroy me. So I couldn't play around Earthquake and play around the Baby Dragon side of things. So a little bit awkward, and Duke is going to be prize piggin' and just getting a huge, huge early lead against us. Really unfortunate. We get another spell that we can't do anything with. I was thinking that Dark Contract could be a really good tier 2 treasure here. Short of that, I don't hate some of these other options. We could take a ranged unit here with the Spellweaver, and then we could also just go for like Hermes Boots. That's not crazy either. But I think I'm just going to go for Jack's Jumping Beans, pick up a ranged unit, then backline one of these Black Cats, so that way maybe Duke attacks into this with their Black Cat, or maybe Jack's Jumping Beans put something out of range. And we do still have a chance to win with this for glory. We are going to see the Baby Dragon attack into the Black Cat, so that's really good for us. This Kitty Cuppers is going to slay, so they will get a little bit of extra gold, but then I think these Spellweavers are actually going to do a lot of work here for Duke. We want to trade into this prized pig, but he's going to continue to get extra econ, so really, really unfortunate. We are going to be level 4 next turn. So there's something. So you're saying there's a chance. Let's pick up another Minotaur, and then let's roll and try to find something like Vampire, or maybe even another Shadow Assassin, another ranged unit. Madman could be fine, but I think picking up another ranged unit here is good. Obviously, if he attacks into this Labyrinth Minotaur and it doesn't get the Jumping Beans, then it does take a lot of power out of my board. We didn't find Queen of Hearts, but maybe next turn we could find some nice stuff like Sporko, or we can start just adding some Lightning Dragons onto the board and potentially turning some things around here. Still at a somewhat healthy 31. We've only been taking damage in increments of, I guess, 4, right? But yeah, or maybe we must have taken a 4 and a 5. That must have been what we did. A 4 and a 5 and then a few ties. But does mean we are going to get into a slightly longer game here, and we'll see how much that favors us over Duke. I am not sure. Doubly attacking into Black Cat, pretty silly stuff there. And then I've got 1 ranged unit in the backline to his 2 ranged units in the backline, so don't feel great about that, but we just evened it up, and we are looking really, really close. This is going to be a really close combat. We only take 4 yet again, but we got the prize pig gold. So that is going to be a little bit in terms of the turning around some of the momentum of the game. Cat's Call is going to be a pretty good unit for us as well. Don't love any of this stuff in the shop. I'm going to roll for some better 4s like Sporko. Maybe could even do Friendly Spirit. It's good with the Jumping Beans. Let's see, if we take Friendly Spirit and then roll one more time, we'd have to pick up something that costs 2 or sell and pick up a queen. I think that's still fine to pick this up, despite it not having too many synergies, and then we don't find anything on this shop. So I think we're just going to be doing a roll down here. Here's the queen, so I could sell 2 things for that, or I could lock onto it. Well, I think it's very, very good this turn, because we've got this Cat's Call. So I'm tempted to sell 2 things for it, and that would be Minotaur and Shadow Assassin, I believe. Kind of is a little bit awkward here, but I think that's the pickup. We'll play the Friendly Spirit too, just because it is a reasonably strong character, and we're hoping the Queen of Hearts doesn't get attacked immediately by the Baby Dragon, and if it doesn't, I think that we will just win this combat. Okay, they cut the Baby Dragon. That's really good. I think that Cat's Call plus Queen of Hearts is just going to be enough. We're going to get a whole bunch more cats after this one dies, and they're all going to be 3/1s. Duke moving into Dwarves to work with Princess White. Not something that you typically see too often on Peter Pants. And like I said, yeah, Queen of Hearts just going to carry. Definitely worth playing down a unit to play the queen. That might make Duke... Oh, right. No Lightning Dragons. So Duke can play Baby Dragon, but they're going to have a tough time finding Lightning Dragons. We could start to scale a Water Wraith, though I do feel like it might be a little bit too late to do something like that. It is only 4.0, but take a look at their units. They're all pretty large dwarves. And so I might not want to go exactly that route. I could see picking up a pair of mummies, though. Those aren't bad with the Labyrinth Minotaur. Could even cut a Black Cat here, or just cut the Spellweaver. Spellweaver continuing to grow in a somewhat nice way. Let's pick up a pair of mummies. Then we find a third, so we can lock onto a mummy, get a tier 3 treasure for next turn. I don't hate that. This game is definitely going a lot later, especially with the fact that I've picked up the XP. XP not typically what you're looking for in Storybook Brawl Duels. But I think it might be the route that we go this game. So I'm going to lock on to the mummy here. There are really good treasures, specifically Ancient Sarcophagus is just like potentially a game winner. It's so powerful, and we've built so well into it. If not, we could maybe pick up something like Treasure Map, find some 9 Sea Terrors. We are level 5 right now, so it's not the craziest idea in the world. Duke finds the Forking Rod. We found the Jumping Beans onto our Friendly Spirit, which is really good for us. That's going to give us a huge ranged unit, and let's see if Queen can take the rest of this down. Looks like she will be able to, and we will get a win. Breaking down on Duke's health total here, and we've tied it up, which is nice as well. And then we get Masquerade Ball, which is a little bit annoying. A little bit annoying that Loki takes away my locked shop. Okay. Eyeing up the Southern Siren here because that works with the... I mean, I'm eyeing up a lot of these things. I like Lightning Dragon. It can trade into their ranged unit in the back line. It can't quite kill their bossy, but the fact that it can kill their ranged unit I think is good. And then I also like Southern Siren's ability to slay. And I might want to combine that with a Sporko. So that's kind of what I am eyeing up right now. Though I might also just want to do... I mean, I don't see how I don't buy Sporko and Southern Siren. It's just a matter of how are we organizing this board after that. And I don't hate playing a board like this. I also don't hate playing a board like this. Just because you don't really want Southern Siren attacking first into the ability to steal nothing. That's kind of awkward, so maybe we do this. We could even do something like this. I don't think that this is crazy. And then do I want to lock for 9 Sea Terror? And I think I'm going to just go ahead and lock for 9 Sea Terror. Of course, that means that Loki is going to mess with me, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then just keeping these mummies in the front, hoping that that's good enough. Taking out the bossy to start things off here is pretty good. We'll just have to battle through Spellweaver. Somehow Duke has Hatball Fork. So... that is absolutely insane. I think that we'll be able to clear this prize pig because we've got the Southern Siren. Oh, wow, it's so close. They keep the prize pig and they've got Hatball Fork. Well, it feels like that's all she wrote. It feels like I've already lost this game, which is incredible. So well played there. I think I'm going to go ahead... the Lightning Dragon does still slay the Spellweaver, but that's the only unit it slays. So it's a little bit awkward to just pick up the Lightning Dragon. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up a 9 Sea Terror, but a 3-cost Lightning Dragon? Now, let's roll for a Sea Terror. Try to find some hype endgame treasures to dig us out of this, because I think that that might be a key to success. So... Tier 5 treasure, let's see if that can be good. I was thinking something like Sword of Fire and Ice could be good. Monkey's Paw might just be what we have to do here to just play down a unit so that way everything else gets a little bit more stats and we can try to beat him up a little bit. It's kind of what I'm going for here. So I think we take Monkey's Paw, and the only question is, like, do we cut the Sea Terror? Do I cut the Southern Siren? And I think the answer is just this, to go ahead and play something like this. 2 mummies, plus a Friendly Spirit in the front. Robin Wood, they have now True Love's kissed into, and we're just trying to kill that pig. If we can just kill that pig, I'll feel a lot better. All right, so we took out the pig. However, Duke is going to take us out here. This is an absolute clobbering of a game, and we're not dead just this second, but yeah, it's going to be very, very close, and it's also going to be basically impossible, I think, to find our way back into this one. So I'm not sure what we should do, but let's go ahead, pick up this, and then roll for some triples and hope that those triples don't roll away from us. All right. This is not the triple that I was looking for, but I'll play it. It opens up some more room on the board. A tier 4 treasure. Could be something interesting. Not really. I'm just going to take +1/+1 on all of my characters and hope that this is something reasonable. And I think I play this. I think that Duke's units are just too big for me to even try to steal with Southern Siren, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll just hope that we can do something, anything with this. And then I guess I take the Bossy and hope to bring one Econ over into level 6. I basically have to find Oni Tyrant next turn to have any shot of doing anything with this one, but it's possible. It's possible we could find an Oni Tyrant and turn some things around if Jumping Beans lands onto one of these Friendly Spirits and then Friendly Spirit lands onto Friendly Spirit and all of that lands onto Sporko. It's certainly possible. So we shall see if we are able to get it done. Feels like my Loki luck has not been so lucky for me. They've got a Southern Siren this time. Think that the Robin Wood was probably just like a temporary unit or something like that. And of course, Doubly's going to attack into that and we are going to die. All right, all right. Not exactly a close game, especially compared to that first one, but we are going to play one more and just see if I can get one win under my belt in this series. So we are playing game 3 and I had to pick Horde Dragon. Unfortunately, I just didn't have any good options for my starting heroes, so a little bit awkward, but we'll see what we're able to put together. I guess I'll try to hunt for some pairs and use this free roll to do so. All right, well, a pair definitely starts to make me feel a little bit reasonable about picking up Horde Dragon, and then I can lock onto a Cindy to match Duke's Cindy and start to build a treasure from that as well. So maybe Horde Dragon does have some chops to work with in Storybook Brawl Duels. My other options, I think I cut out the beginning of the video, but my other options were the Sphinx, Trophy Hunter, and Pan Shadow, which are all either bad or at least not really great late game heroes. But continuing to get these early wins here as Loki kind of repays the favor for trolling me earlier, I would say. Let's go ahead and take the free roll, and that is going to give us a tier 3 treasure. Do we want to run it? That's the question. And I think so. I think I'll go for it here, grab a tier 3 treasure. If we get like Helm or something, that could be really, really big for this early stage of the game. Telltale Quiver I think is fine, but I think we just go with Fancy Pants and attempt to get some additional buffs on things as this game plays out here. Not gonna worry about locking onto this shop just for the crafty. We'll look for better stuff to dance with the pants in the future. And I'm not sure if I want to backline or frontline this Cindy. I think I'm just going to go ahead and backline it so that way I can't get sniped by the sure shot. And Duke has made his sure shot much, much bigger with a roll of the die. They are definitely competing here, and we're going to play catch up a little bit. We're going to start to pick up some characters with our Fancy Pants and see if that helps us get back into this one, as we have elected to take some early damage now. Definitely going to go for this Falling Stars just for its contribution to Cindy. The question will be, where do we go from there? Do we pick up a Black Cat or a Minotaur that we know is going to die? And I think we might still. Now I'm tempted to just throw Cindy out with the bathwater so that way we can get more attacks. The problem is if we attack first, it's a little bit awkward, but I think I'm still going to go for something like this. It seems a little bit silly, but we're halfway to Cindy. Obviously, the Telltale Quiver would have been just as good, but now we can move around this unit and we can also pick up some more units next turn, as opposed to just being like locked on to picking up ranged units. So we'll see how that goes. Duke really hoping to win this combat, but we take out both of their ranged units, which I think means we are going to deny this Wish Upon a Star. That would have been really scary, but luckily we are able to get some damage back onto them. A little bit of a back and forth here is always nice, and now we've got some interesting options this turn. We could cast a spell to take down Cindy yet again. I think the play is going to be Wretched Mummy. I think that this unit sticks around for us the longest, and then I might just pick up something like Ogre Princess, which we can see slays across his entire front line of units. So something like this I think could be good, and then we just pick up Wretched Mummy and an Ogre Princess here to start some things off. Yeah, there's some temptation to put the pants on the Ogre Princess, but when you are playing Storybook Brawl Duels, almost called it Storybook Brawl 99, I think you really just want to prioritize getting in that early damage in any way possible. And I'm just, now my mind's kind of thinking, okay, remember, Duke is still going to be level 4 next turn, probably. Potentially even this turn, if they found some more XP. I guess we could check, right? No, still on 3.2. But definitely something to consider next turn. They are going to have access to tier 4 units and characters and things. They have added a baby dragon to the squad, but we're still looking pretty good here. The donkey is going to be a little bit annoying. That'll get a summon or 2, and that summon is going to be a Humpty Dumpty. Okay, they hit us for 9 damage out of nowhere. Definitely not ideal. A little bit annoying. But we'll see what we can do. Somewhat interested in the 4 glory. Not really interested in putting pants on the donkey. Let's see what else we can fancy pants with. Maybe we could find like a genie's wish or something else. Well, this is interesting because we are a pretty evil comp, and this does flip over the Lonely Prince. So I like the Queen of Hearts. The only question is, do we want the fancy pants on the Queen of Hearts? And then another question becomes, do we want to roll the die at all? I think we can. I think we could do something interesting here like this. Prized Pig, get the fancy pants. Roll the die, hope that that's Queen, and when it's not, we can sell Black Cat and Ogre Princess, and actually, let's sell Bad Billy and Ogre Princess, potentially play for a treasure here, and then pick up Queen of Hearts like so. And then let's go ahead and put the Frog Prince right here, so that way we are potentially allowing some evil things to die first so that this can get the buff. We did see Baby Dragon out of Duke Silver last turn, but there's not much that we can do in that capacity. They're now playing double Baby Dragon, so that is quite annoying. However, our prize pig is bigger than a Baby Dragon, so that's kind of interesting. We also see that their donkey is not big enough in this combat, and then we have this large ranged unit. They do have an Amy that we'll have to battle through, but we are going to be able to do it. So we donate some gold to them with Prize Pig. That was maybe a little bit of a tough sell with that one. But we won the combat, so we dealt some damage. We also gave them a Queen of Hearts. That's what I was thinking. So I guess we go Wormroot on the Wretched Mummy here. That gives us a tier 3 treasure. I'm also just thinking of picking up Medusa as another unit to add to the board. Let's see what our tier 3 treasure is. Treasure map, obviously super interesting on Horde Dragon, as is Ancient Sarcophagus when we've got all of this evil stuff going on, and I think I'm just gonna have to go for that. As much as I would have loved to just picked up a treasure map or a crystal ball, I think in Storybook Brawl Duels you gotta play it a little bit lower to the ground and just, yeah, play it this way. So I like what we are building here. Would like some additional tier 3 units, maybe some more Black Cats. But yeah, we want to find evil stuff at this point in the game, and we just found a bunch of good stuff so far. So I think that this is still pretty fine. I think that we are in a pretty good spot, and with the Ancient Sarcophagus trigger, hopefully that's enough to protect our little prized piggy. But we shall see. And then the Mummy also adding a bunch more stats to the board. Duke with a few ranged units, so they've definitely put together something here. We take out one of their ranged units. Court Wizard going to get a bonus attack right now. Not sure where this Court Wizard came from because they didn't have it last turn, but we are really just rocking with the Ancient Sark, and that is going to allow us to keep the prized pig. So love to see it. That's really good. Lightning Dragon, obviously very tempting. The only thing that is a little bit weird, so If we take the Lightning Dragon, oh, we could take Soul Tack as well. Oh, that's pretty spicy. Yeah, okay, and Soul Tack, the question is, do we want to put a little bit of sauce on the Soul Tack with the Fancy Pants? And I think that answer is yes. So I'm gonna get some Soul Tack with some sauce. Then I'm gonna pick up a Lightning Dragon, and I'm just trying to end the game as soon as possible right now. I'd love to find another Black Cat and make a treasure out of that. It might even be worth using the Forbidden Fruit to really just push down the pedal and try to end this game as soon as possible. Yeah, let's go for it. Forbidden Fruit, rolling for Black Cat, we find Sporko. Okay. I'm gonna put Sporko in, toss the prized pig, and now Lightning Dragon attacks, and then both of these things just get, they totally own the baby roots that Duke Silver was playing last turn. They did also find a Lightning Dragon of their own, but we have totally scammed all of their baby dragons and made a really, really nice play for ourselves. So we're gonna win this combat pretty easily, in fact. Is it going to be enough to get the win? It's going to be really, really close. We're going to hit them for 7 down to 5, so we just need to find one more win. But the great thing about what we just did is now Duke has got to be spiraling. Definitely check out their commentary at this point, because 3 of their units are now made just completely useless by what we just did there. So that is really, really fantastic, and it's worth continuing to play the Soul Tack even if they one-up us by not making that play, kind of counterplaying us to some extent. And I'd like to find like a combat spell or something else to just take this home that much more. I think that something like this could be cool though too. We could do this. We'd probably still just play the Mummy. And then roll and try to find a treasure. That's also a play that we have here too. Nice. Okay, so Sporko gives us a tier 5 treasure. Sword would be great. Dracula's Saber's good. Helm lands on the Queen, which is just okay. I think Dracula's Saber is going to be pretty good. I think that's going to be pretty tough for them to beat, and it should be good. Now, the only way that this could potentially get a little bit awkward is if their Lightning Dragon attacks into our Lightning Dragon, then we do lose that. Let's just do this, play around Falling Stars and stuff, because we are playing up against Loki. Nope, they've got a Forbidden Fruit that almost killed them, and we should be good to go here. Looks like we're just going to be too big. Siren will potentially get to steal something. That could be a little bit awkward. They take our Medusa, but we just have a massive Soul Tack, and that is going to be more than enough to allow us to find a win. So there we go. I did not think that Horde Dragon would be able to do it, but we found some really good treasures, and we were able to create ourselves a really nice little evil squad to take down Duke. So 2 more games, or maybe 1 more game, best of 5. We'll see how many of them we wind up playing. But yeah, I'm happy to just get a win under my belt, that's for sure. Fallen Angel is just overall a more well-rounded hero power. And so let's try that one out. Let's see what we can make out of that one. And just going to pick up an evil character, despite it not being super impressive, and I'll lock onto a Forbidden Fruit, so that way we can pick up 2 characters on our next turn and see what we can turn that into. Yeah, I like picking up evil characters more than I like picking up good characters, and the liability of Labyrinth Minotaur only having 1 health is somewhat mitigated by Fallen Angel, so maybe we can find some good characters later to turn that around. Not super impressed by the Blind Mouse in that shop, but we might be able to do some fun stuff with it down the line. All right, not going to be using our hero power this turn, and Duke is going to have 3 characters to our 3 characters, so this is a close one. Yeah, definitely fun. We both have a little bit of an econ spell, and both of those econ spells caused us to take some damage. I'm at 38, Duke is down to 37, and that is purely because we are both picking up spells to play an extra unit on turn 2, on Brawl 2. So yeah, kind of an interesting perspective here when you've got a matchup like that, but it's nice when these duels can stay close and give you guys some good games. So let's see if this is going to be a good game. And a free roll, that's interesting. A free roll, I wonder if they're like holding on to some units or how exactly we got in free roll territory. I'm not sure, but we're definitely picking up Black Cat. That turns on Fallen Angel and is just a really, really good unit. And the question is, do we want to pick up something like a Polywoggle? Or do I want to pick up a good unit? Honestly, I think the answer is just Polywoggle. Even if Poly doesn't slay this turn, I'm actually not super bent out of shape about that. And I could even see doing this. Now, next turn, we will have to pick up some good units. You can take a look at this board. This is going to be super, super tempting for Duke to cast a Falling Stars on, and they are Potion Master. So they're going to be seeing twice as many spells. They are going to be able to cast a Falling Stars if they're going to be able to find a Falling Stars and be able to cast it, and that's definitely a little bit scary. So this board could all go up in flames if we don't find two good units right here, but we do. We also find our own Falling Stars, so that's kind of funny. And we also see a Polywoggle, another Polywoggle. However, I'm very tempted into selling Polywoggle, picking up Brave Princess and Good Witch here. It's a little bit awkward because I'd love to pick up Polywoggle. However, I just don't think there's a way to put it all on the board. And I might even be locking onto a Wicked Witch to play Wicked Witch plus Good Witch. It's not crazy. Yeah, okay. Let's certainly do this. That gives us our playing around Falling Stars. Are we locking onto Wicked Witch now? And a Polywoggle here? I think so. Let's lock onto this. I think that this is strong. Maybe we even play a backline Polywoggle or something weird like that, but I do think that picking up a Wicked Witch is just a strong thing to do at this stage of the game. What are these called? Kitty Cup Purses, not quite able to slay against us, and we are dealing some damages down to Duke. This one is quite the clobber, and we also get to pick up a Princess Peep, which is like the best unit for Fallen Angel. So I definitely want to go ahead and pick that up, and probably going to neglect to pick up the Wicked Witch. Because of that, though, we could do both. We could take out the Minotaur, put the Wicked Witch here. Oh, we put the Minotaur here. And then we could even put this in at this point. Okay, well, I think we're gonna go for this. Yeah, this seems right to me. If we take a look at their board, they did have one Kitty Cup Purse that we could kill with a Falling Stars. They're probably going to look to triple it up or potentially protect against it, but I don't think it's crazy to go for a Falling Stars here myself this turn. Yeah, I can get behind that. And not going to worry about Shadow Assassin. It's just a small upgrade over Sherwood Sure Shot. I'm going to look for more Black Cats or Princess Peeps, more things that can make some tokens, maybe Mummy or a Labyrinth Minotaur, but I don't think that we need to lock again. They did find the triple on the Kitty Cup Purse, so that is good for them. And then we are going to have some room cleared for our Sheeps, and we're going to have a pretty easy win this combat and hit them for another 7 down to 13. Pretty powerful game. That's just kind of what Fallen Angel can do. Fallen Angel's a really, really disgusting hero in Storybook Brawl duels sometimes. I'm going to pick up a Water Wraith. That works really well with the token generation theme that we got going on, and I could see flipping this Sherwood Sure Shot. If it turns into Mad Mim, I'm not super excited by that. Or if it turns into you know what, yeah, I'll just roll. Roll for another Water Wraith, another Good Witch. We find both of those things, so that is pretty interesting. We can only really get away with picking up one. That's not true. We can sell off our 2-cost units just to pick it up. The question is, do we play it? And I think the answer to that is no. Just so that way we can continue to play all of these tokens. I think that I'd rather play that and just not play the other princess peep of it all here, but this seems like a really good way to pivot into a comp that is like scaling, and this is what you want to play on Fallen Angel. You want to play tokens, you want to play strong stuff. Hopefully we can get a strong treasure off of this Brave Princess as well, and pick up some triples for our pairs on next turn. It's going to hit into Black Cat. That is one of the best rolls for us, and then that attacks into Donkey, continuing to roll quite well. They do get the Slay, so that's good for them. They will get one more Slay, but they are going to take 5 more damage, down to 8. Will the gold be enough to allow them to catch up? Well, now we could go full evil on them and pick up Ancient Sarcophagus. We do also see Power Orb, and when we're playing with this many tokens, Power Orb is certainly worth considering, though I'm very much leaning to just taking the Sark in Storybook Brawl Duels and having that be the answer. And I think that that is what we are going to be going with here. So let's take a look at something like this. Now we can pick up Mummy. We could take Blessing of Athena just to get a little bit more stats on the board. Just that tiny bit can certainly help. We might want another evil unit though. We could still sell all of this for an evil unit that costs 4. Or we could take a Water Wraith right now. Alright, well I think I'm locking onto this shop here. So I don't think I'm actually doing anything else this turn. I think I'm just locking onto this. Next turn we get to pick up a Water Wraith plus a Lightning Dragon and another tier 3 treasure, and I think that this Sarcophagus might be enough to just get us over the hump. It's going to take out their Wicked Witches. We get to potentially take out their Vulture if we land on that early. Let's see, when is that going to come out of here? It's very close, and the Vulture is quite big, but we are just barely going to get the win. It's not going to be a kill though. It's only going to be 6 damage, puts Duke down to 3. I like getting the wins though, of course, that is always a lot of fun. And now I think we just take Power Orb and continue to press this advantage that we have. And then, yeah, we're going to do something like this, and then we put the Lightning Dragon in this slot. That looks good. Probably just take Stone Skin this turn, get a few more stats on Water Wraith, and continue to try to turn up the heat. Could have rolled for another evil character, as we are cutting down on the amount of evils. Then, of course, there is also the option to try to put Good Witch in on this board. But I think once we take the Sark, like, we could have just not played the Lightning Dragon, put in the Good Witch, supported these two. But once we take the Sark, I'm just looking to replace these things anyways, and the Lightning Dragon is, I think, a good unit. I don't care about the +2 health on everything. Now that I have Blessinged last turn and then taken the Power Orb this turn, everything's at the point where it's not dying to falling stars and stuff like that, so I don't really have that much to worry about on that front. Just trying to get a win. Just trying to get one win and continue to be strong. And this is where it gets really, really tough from Duke's side of thing to play Storybook Brawl, because they have to play tempo or they just lose, because I'm going to be playing tempo every single turn and I'm not letting up. And they did find a Telltale Quiver. That is going to be some nice stats for them with a ranged backline, but I think that we are just applying too much pressure elsewhere, that they are not going to be able to have any room to breathe, and we're going to get another win and tie up the series. So pretty nice stuff, kind of a stomp, but that's Storybook Brawl Duels for you sometimes. Sometimes the games just aren't close. There's a few really interesting hero options here. Share Bear, absolutely horrible in Storybook Brawl Duels. Both you and your opponent just get a hero, get an extra gold, but your opponent has an actual hero power. Grandmother, +10 health, somewhat reasonable. Morgan also getting +5 health, kind of cool. Pup the Magic Dragon can do a lot of really fun stuff. So I'm between these two. Pup being an interestingly powerful tempo hero, and Morgan being a hero that can really help you get back in the game if you lose early. So I'm not against Morgan. However, I think I'm just going to go Pup and lock that in. It's really, really close, though. I can definitely see going either way with that. And we can see that Duke has picked up Gwen, which can definitely be a scary one. I want to make sure that Gwen cannot be slaying against us super early. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and lock Forbidden Fruit, pick up a bad Billy. And unfortunately, no supports here, but I don't think that Pup is strong enough that you want to be like rolling for supports on the early turns. I think you just want to take Forbidden Fruit, take the unit advantage where you can get it, and then just hope to pick up supports at some point. And they have gone for the Knighthood on Wizard's Familiar already, a classic and a really strong move. So that's going to be tough to battle through. This turn they're going to have a 6/6, plus they're going to have one other unit because they can cast like a Magic Research or something on their Wizard's Familiar. So we're going to be taking some damage, and it's upgraded damage as well. So we have already taken, well, now we've taken 2 more because of the Forbidden Fruit. So yeah, definitely taking a lot of damage in this one early. That might spell disaster for us. We shall see. These spells might spell disaster. And they've got a Minotaur, which we are able to battle through. And then, yeah, the Wizard's Familiar plus the Witch's Brew. That's going to be too big for us. So, part's unfortunate. And no supports. No supports all throughout this entire level, which is part of the reason that you play Pup. So that you can get some supports and make a big character. Really unfortunate. And you know what else? I'm now just realizing that Pup in Storybook Brawl Duels, where you're so rewarded for playing dragons, might just be not the way to go. So that part's a little bit awkward. Let's just pick up 2 characters. We'll see how it shakes out here. I'll keep the Rainbow Unicorn in the back. Yeah, not loving our spot right now. But, like, if the Minotaur can trade with the Wizard's Familiar, these can trade with their other units, there's actually a chance that we win this combat, so I wouldn't count us out just yet. Yeah, here we go. They took out the Minotaur. That's awkward. It was really just, this whole combat was just getting the Minotaur to line up with the Wizard's Familiar, and we could have won, but short of that, we were indeed going to lose. All right. Some interesting options on this turn. We can take a Water Wraith to get some scaling started. We can take a Brave Princess to start building towards a treasure. I would much rather have access to Morgan here, but what are you going to do? We can also go ahead and sell both of these golden chickens, at which point we can put in the Ogre Princess as well. Or we could sell Golden Chicken plus Rainbow Unicorn, and then we're picking up a Wormroot. So we're at least selling this. We're buying these 2. And I think I just want Ogre Princess as well. It is going to slay against him. And maybe we can make some other fun stuff happen. I'd like to potentially pick up the Wormroot, but not going to be in the cards just yet. And I think let's play it like this. This is fine. Okay. This is not the strongest board, and we're not going to be able to slay up against the Wizard's Familiar, and then Duke has also picked up a ranged unit, and we're not going to be able to slay up against that either. So taking a little bit more damage, but we're taking less damage than we've taken in previous turns, so I guess that's something. Not something that I'm super keen on, but something nonetheless. Yeah, definitely considering just another Ogre Princess here, despite being a little bit uninspired by it because their units are just already bigger than that and aren't allowing us to slay, which is unfortunate. What do we do, though, short of just playing a Labyrinth Minotaur, rolling? I guess I'll do that. I do feel like Ogre Princess is a definite potential way to go, but maybe I should just be trying to find some support units, finally. Not going to find any just yet. And that part's a little bit awkward. We can start to scale the Water Wraith, though, here, so maybe that's something, and eventually, maybe we'll find a support. If we can hang on and not die before we hit 4.0, then Yeah, that's something, but we are going to need to find some support characters eventually. Part of the trick with Storybook Brawl Duels is like you're taking so much damage because your opponent is playing aggressively that you don't really feel like you have the time to roll for the units that you actually need in a really, really weird way. So that part's awkward, but maybe we will have just enough time to pick up a few support units. We shall see. Definitely not looking great for us here, though. See what we can find. At this point, I basically like have to roll for some support units and hope that they are good enough. And we do find a good witch of the north here. Not really the support that we were looking for. We could go good witch and pick up like Princess Peep. It's not the craziest thing in the world if we just need to hang on. It does have some synergy with Water Wraith. Guess that's going to be the play, and then I suppose from here I'm also picking up Genie's Witch. Let's pick up the Peep first, just in case this is just free roll. Okay, it was a roll of the die. But yeah, we're just hoping that from here, like, Brave Princess can trade with Wizard's Familiar, and then Peep can make a bunch of spawns, and then Water Wraith can continue to grow. Like I said, we're going to have to try to dodge Lightning Dragons as well as dodge losing too much health, but maybe we can find some nice supports on 4.0 and potentially start to do some nice stuff with that. We're going to need a Soul Tack as well, but if we can find some Lady of the Lakes, some Sporkos, some Soul Tacks, maybe we can turn this around just a little bit. Falling Star is going to take out every single one of our units and be a pretty disappointing thing to see, but we do get to pick up some, well, damage against Duke Silver, to be totally honest. We don't take that much damage. We take 4 down to 8. Kind of wish I was Morgan instead this game, but, well, what can you do? We're here now. So definitely need to find Sporko. We could also take Friendly Spirit, put that in instead of Princess Peep, and I don't hate that. I do feel like I have to play Brave Princess this turn, so that's something, but I think I will take a Friendly Spirit. I think that that's a good enough unit. And then I did want to play like a Lightning Dragon or something, but I think I'm going to put in this Labyrinth Minotaur. Just give us a treasure. Maybe that gives us something small like Boots or something like that, but I'll take a Boots at this point. Just to ensure that we get this treasure from Brave Princess. I mean, more or less ensure. A 75% chance to slay on the previous board. I think that's going to be good enough here. And we probably don't want like the spinning wheel or something. Basically have to win every combat from this point out in the game, so I am not super keen on our chances to win here, but maybe there is a way to do it. And then the other question is, do we just want to lock onto Lightning Dragon, just knowing how good of a card it is in general? And I think the answer is yes. They've got one backline ranged unit. They've got a Stag as well, and chances are we are not going to be able to make too much use of all of our support cards. We will just need to pick up some Lightning Dragons and do some fun stuff with that. We did have a turnaround here. This was a really good combat for us. It's not going to be quite good enough that we are able to win, but yeah, the Minotaur attacking there is actually really good. We will still lose though and take 5 damage. So okay, your mileage may vary. We are getting a tier 3 treasure here, though. It's not a good one. Haunted Helm is probably what we have to pick up, and then we just throw the Friendly Spirit into that Haunted Helm slot. So I guess that's an idea. Like I said, I do think I have to pick up Lightning Dragon here. That just feels like it is the case. And then I'd really like to find like a Sporko or some other good supports. I'm kind of over Wicked Witch at this point. Could play Fairy Godmother, though I don't have too much synergies with it. I think I roll for a Sporko to support this Princess Peep. I think that's the idea here now. Could go for Burning Palm here. Don't love it. Don't love Time Flies either. I mean, we could just take Baby Root just because it does something with Pup. It feels so little, so late that we just didn't find a support unit until this late into the game. Yeah, let's just roll and try to find another Sporko and do something silly with this. Now we're like doing this And this... I don't really have another good unit to play, so I guess I just play Labyrinth Minotaur and hope that these friendly spirits do something interesting against Duke here. Though, like I said, I do not love my odds. The fact that I do have huge friendly spirits is nice. The fact that friendly spirit lands on friendly spirit is actually incredibly good. But is that going to be enough? It is. It is going to be enough to get us a win here. They're using Sting. We're using Haunted Helm. That is a really, really close battle. But we need to find some supports. We need to find Sporko. We need to find Lady of the Lake. There's no way around it. And we're just getting good witches, which is terrible. But I'm going to put it in like this. I guess I put in the Water Wraith down here, despite that not really doing anything. And we'll see. Okay, a triple is good. We could potentially find Sting. We could potentially find... I guess it's Fancy Pants, huh? Fancy Pants does something on doubly, though it's not something I'm particularly excited about. Let's see. Give me an 8/8. Yeah, I'm just not super excited about that. Let's munch up this Black Cat and throw in a roll for Sporko or Lady of the Lake here. Again, absolutely nothing. One more roll. Even if we find it at this point, there's nothing we can do with it. We just have to hope that the friendly spirits land on each other again. I'm going to wind up rolling down here, finding absolutely nothing. I guess we could lock on to another Good Witch. Maybe just give us a little bit more tempo. I don't know. I'm not going to lock onto a Good Witch on 5.0, but yeah, this is not looking great for us. Will the friendly spirits carry us? Friendly spirit lands on friendly spirit again. Wow. I got super, super lucky. Think it is going to be enough to survive a turn, but I can't imagine it helps us survive much more than that. All right, we really need some supports. I mean, Duke's not even playing dragons because we don't even have supports, which is just embarrassing from our perspective. We could go ahead and take Wombats in Disguise, which works well with the Fancy Pants, works well with something like a Sporko. I think it's good enough that I do have to take it, so let's pick that up here. An 8/8 Wombats, and now really just rolling still for Sporko, believe it or not. Yeah, wow. This is absolutely terrible. There's no chance that my friendly spirit is going to land on friendly spirit yet again, so we're probably a little bit boned at this point. Oh, the friendly spirits could land on Wombats. Right. Okay, so that's the plan. Hope that friendly spirit lands on Wombats. Do I want to pick up another Wombats just to double my chances that that happens? Potentially. Oh, I really do, don't I? I think I might have to, just to not die right here. I would have loved to pick up the Wombats next turn and thrown the Fancy Pants buff on it, but I just have to hope these friendly spirits land on these Wombats. Can't cast the Falling Stars here because I need the Lightning Dragon to trade with one of my opponent's ranged units, and then I need to hope that Medusa gets attacked into. That is absolutely beautiful. We are going to lose some stats attacking into this Rotten Apple Tree, and then we also see that Duke has a Great Pumpkin already, which is not great for us, but both of these Wombats have a bunch of stats. Donkey is going to summon a bunch of extra units as well to deal with my opponent's Black Cats. Cupid is going to be really annoying, but it attacks into the Rotten Apple Tree, which is absolutely wonderful for me. I've been getting so lucky on these past few turns, and is that going to be enough? It is, to get a win onto Duke yet again. So we've been scraping by, and we have been scamming through these past few combats. Let's see if we can keep it up. Whew, okay. Would still love a Sporko, for sure. However, I'm not going to turn down a tripled up Wombats in Disguise, getting another Fancy Pants buff, and the potential. Now we could go like Tweedledee, throw these friendly spirit buffs onto Tweedledee. These things seem absolutely crazy. I think it's got to be Dracula's Saber, but I think it still might be Tweedledee. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so we got Drax Saber here, probably tossing the Fancy Pants just because it doesn't actually contribute to the board, and we need to contribute to the board as much as we possibly can in every single combat. And then I'm going to backline a Tweedledee and hope to get Scamming yet again. Now, the Medusas attacking into either of these things feels really rough. The fact that Duke can just pick up a dragon at any point also feels pretty rough. Haven't found a Soltac, haven't found a Sporko. Those were the two units I was talking about the most going into this game. All around a pretty awkward pup game, but we do have first attack with our boots, and we do have some rather large friendly spirits, and Duke has completely changed their entire board over into a good boy board. So this is scary. I don't know how they found the time to put all of this stuff together when they were just an evil board just last turn, but we are still going to have the stats for now to take Duke down. So that's something. We hit them for 9, down to 9. We've got a game here somehow, some way, against all odds. You know what? I'll take it. We really want to find a scam against Duke for the crazy shenanigans that they are currently pulling. And I'm also considering just picking up Stone Skin, throwing that on Friendly Spirit. So honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. We are no longer playing with the Fancy Pants. So that's something to consider right now. I don't know. I think I just want another Friendly Spirit to complement this board. It's not super exciting, but I think it's the best thing that we can find. Maybe could find a Tweedledee and then, of course, Sporko. But I'm not going to... I'm not gonna count my blessings on a Sporko. We could go Lady of the Lake instead of Good Witch, which is still pretty good. I think we probably want this regardless. But maybe we even want to do something like this at some point. Cut down the Water Wraith. No, I want the bonus stats here. Alright, we are going to wind up... I didn't mean to lock that, because I don't think that we need another Lightning Dragon. And they have completely switched back. Where are they finding all of these units? What is happening? They are just doing some crazy stuff here with True Love's Kiss. And, yeah, just making crazy things happen every turn. We need Medusa to not scam my Wombats in Disguise, but it does. And that is going to be all she wrote, unfortunately. Duke eventually found the scam. They played some crazy boards that were very, very hard to predict, which definitely put me on my toes a lot there towards the end. This obviously wasn't the best game for us as we weren't able to find that many support characters, but in hindsight, I actually don't think Pup is the best hero for Storybook Brawl duels, just because there's so many dragons flying around looking to punish you for playing support characters, and despite all that, this game was really, really close, and the whole series was really close too, and a lot of fun, I thought. If you had fun watching this one, make sure that you also leave a like and a comment over on Duke Silver's video, and again, I'll leave a link for that below. Support their channel as well, give them a subscribe, and check out some of their other content. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace. This week's giveaway word is dust. Each week I use a new code word. That's just to distinguish who's commenting for which week, and the reason I have you guys say a code word, that way I can tell who is interested in the dust and who's just commenting to say hi or that they enjoyed the video, stuff like that. You can definitely do both, just make sure you include this week's code word. You can also enter as many times as you want per week, once per video. You can go back, leave comments on old videos, just make sure they include this week's word, but there's no limit to how many times you can enter, other than, I guess, the amount of videos that I have. And I've been putting out a bunch of Storybook Brawl videos since last October, so yeah, there are a bunch of opportunities to enter to win. You can go through the backlog and watch some of those, but it's been really fun to receive the comments from you guys, get that level of interaction. You can also come join me on my Discord, which I'm trying to grow right now, just so that I have feedback on my titles and thumbnails and things like that, but I also have some fun ideas for special game modes that I could make work with lobbies of players in the future. So feel free to check that out as well. There is a link to that in the video description, and help me climb on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and thank you guys all very much for your support.